Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Justin.
And I'm David.
And this is the Captain's Log. I want to remind everybody that we are sailing through the internet looking to do deep dives on each of our favorite characters. And today we're going back to a very common place that we will probably see a lot in our voyages, New York City.
Oh yeah.
That's right. When the paste picante is not made in New York City, you don't have to worry about getting any ropes.
Hey, Cookie, more picante sauce. Yeah. This ain't paste picante sauce. What's the difference? Cookie, paste picante sauce is made in San Antonio with fresh vegetables and spices by people who know what picante sauce is supposed to taste like. That stuff's made in New York City? New York City! Get a rope.
Pick up the original picante sauce. Pick up the paste.
New York City.
New York City.
Get the road. That was rough. You can't do that nowadays.
Yeah,
you cannot do that nowadays. You would be canceled.
Ultra deep cut.
No, but we should swing on through there. You know.
Yes, swing on through like an arachnid man, a spider man, if you will.
You talking about Peter?
Yes.
Oh.
Or Miles. Or
Parker.
Spider.
Ben. No, it's
Pig.
Ben. Well, there's Porker. Or Peter Porker.
Yeah, Peter Porker. Spider Noir. Like there is.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, there is a whole Spiderverse of Spider-Men. So
it was an awesome, great movie.
Yeah, like
one of my favorite superhero movies ever, actually.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to go over some of the trailers of the new Carnage that is coming out. I mean, because if you're talking about Spider-Man and not talking about his rogues gallery, then
he's got like one of the most impressive rogues galleries, like of any superhero besides Batman. But we talk Batman.
Yes, definitely one of the most impressive rogues gallery of any superhero. Cut. Uncut. And like I'm really excited that we're going to do a deep dive on this because there is a lot right and a lot wrong about some of the Spider-Man stories.
Yeah. It doesn't portray humans in a very fashionable light sometimes. People are flawed in Spider-Man.
Yes.
People are flawed. Some of my favorite characters are broken, flawed. Like J. Jonah Jameson, the guy that David Parker already, pictures, whatever. Like he's a horrible person. Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. He's like he hates Spider-Man. He's always like in the later comics. He's like fighting robots. What are the spider killers and stuff like that? Yeah.
But is he the worst?
No.
I don't think he's.
I think Aunt May's the worst. I'm just kidding.
Uncle Ben's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a San Francisco treat. Where have you been in San Francisco when you live in New York City? Sorry that I went back to
that. That's okay. Now, Spider-Man's a great character. He's gone through a lot of changes. He's been retconned a lot.
Yes.
He's been drugged through it. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, teenage boy who got bit by a spider. He gained a set of powers which changed over the years, and in different universes, like in the MCU, he's got organic, like he shoots the webs out of his actual body.
Yes.
But in the comic book, it's like tech. It's like Tony Stark kind of stuff. But he created it.
Is it webs out of his own body?
Not in the comic book. I don't believe so.
No, I mean in the because I know in the Spiderverse he uses No, in Spider-Verse, you're right.
He's
I
the shooters.
think he does have webs. I know he can at least stick to walls.
Yeah, no, he can climb walls. And he's got the Spidey sense, which is the trademark of Spider-Man, is the Spidey sense. I think he lost it once, and he had to make like something called like, what was it? Like Spider Foo or Swim Foo or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he has like, it's pretty interesting, especially the fact that normally when they trade off people to be that one character, it usually is not as good as the original. But I would say Miles Morales having his own thing, like the stealth ability and the shock.
The Venom shock? Or the
Yes.
Venom, yeah. I thought it was where they called it Venom, because every time I hear that, I think of Venom.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah.
Which is like, it confuses me. It's like Venom shock, and I'm just like, yeah, but he's just electrocuting people. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a spider thing, I guess, but.
And recently I read a what if Spider-Man had never gave up the symbiote suit. and it really, it makes you reconsider, like, if you read that before this podcast, you probably wouldn't have had the same opinion of J. Jonah Jameson, because you feel bad for the guy.
Who, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain plots where they do write him decently, where he's not a horrible person, but yeah, they do drag him through the mud. Like, there's this, I don't know which one. I think I know what you're talking about the new thing where he keeps there's like a what if.
Yeah.
If he keeps the suit, and I can't remember. Is that the one where Jonah Jameson is kind of like a lackey to Spider-Man? No. I'm thinking about.
No, this is like it was here.
I'm thinking of House of M, where Wanda changes everybody, and J. Jonah Jameson's like the lackey, and he's like Peter Parker's like the. I like that one. I do like that universe, but I need to look into what you're talking about. I think I've seen it. I like briefly something about it, but I haven't seen. I know he kept it, and he did a lot of good with it.
Yeah,
but
because it like in the comic that I read recently, it was released a couple months ago, like back when I was still in school. And because we all had to read a comic that we were interested in, because it was like a sequential arts, a comic book class.
Yeah.
So I read that one, and because it had to be like as new as you could possibly do for the class, and like he was still like, I want pictures of Spider-Man, and he's a piece of crap, but. Because in this one, like, Spider-Man is like a straight up bully, and he will straight up murder folks. He's like,
is that the symbiote though? You know, is it like the influencing him?
Yeah, because like you see him like sleeping over his bed, like hung by the goo.
Oh yeah,
and he's very vampiric almost.
I mean, he did. I mean, I guess. Well, Spider-Man's the guy that corrupted the symbiote originally, right?
The symbiote is supposed to corrupt Spider-Man,
but it leaves like a codex or something. Well, in the newer stuff with Hickman, I think it's Hickman's run. They're doing the whole Venom thing where like everybody that he's bonded with, like it changes the symbiote.
Okay.
So like the morality of the person, the host, is imprinted on the actual symbiote, and every time it jumps around, it gets a different imprintation. Imprintation. I don't know if that's a word, but yeah, and I got a codex. Everybody's got a codex and codices and stuff like that. But I believe I've seen or read in like recent comics where they talk about Spider-Man kind of corrupted. He was the first one to kind of corrupt the symbiote just because. He's like, get off of me, and he had a bunch of stuff going. Like Spider-Man's not perfect, so it's like he was just all the luggage, and all the stuff that Peter Parker was carrying at the time imprinted on the, and that's why like Venom even hated. He's just like he wants to kill Spider-Man just because he cast him off and he was like all busted at the time. So
yeah, and I think that's a big draw to all the Spider-Man and Spider-Man character. Like Peter Parker has been through some shit. Like he's not a millionaire like Tony Stark. He doesn't have like all the resources that everybody else does.
Doc Ock does take over his body and turn him into like a millionaire at one point in time.
Oh yes, the ultimate, or is it Superior?
Superior. Which when he's in possession of Spider-Man's body, that's when he's superior because he's like a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and who's
I was gonna touch my phone too.
Notifying me.
We're not touching our phones, but we're touching our phones.
Stop notifying.
I know the name of the guy, and I had my phone, but the guy that plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
The best portrayal of any comic book.
No.
Yeah.
Is it J.K. Simmons? I think it is. Write in the comments below.
Let us know if we're wrong.
Yes.
I encourage all of you to fact check us and let us know so we don't sound stupid next time. We'll read all these comments.
What is your favorite Spider-Man story? Write in the comments below.
Please
as
do.
Well. Superior Spider-Man gave me like PTSD. Like I was so stressed out about Peter.
Like getting lost.
Yes.
Like
oh my god.
That was dope. It was kind of hand wavy weak the way he came back. He was just like, I just decided I'm coming back.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a problem that Marvel writers kind of do. Which I mean, I love Marvel. I love like all the comics, but sometimes writers are as flawed as we are, and with that. Felt like it was.
It made it relatable. You could relate to losing yourself.
Yeah,
and it's terrifying. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, but like how he came back, like you said, it felt forced.
Yeah,
like I wrote myself into a corner.
Yeah, they're just like everything's wrong and it's horrible, and then suddenly it's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
but no, it was a good book though. It did. I liked how like people reacted to Spider-Man, like they didn't know it was him, and like he beat up all the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like in one sitting, like he was just like, have at you.
Yeah. And like having Octavius's like super intelligence, like it, and him realizing that because I think it was within the first couple issues, he had already like uppercutted like the Scorpion's jaw off of his face.
Yes. Now he's super OP.
Yeah, he was all like, "Oh my god, this man's been holding back this entire time."
No. Spider-Man holds his punches because he will blow heads off his shoulders. If he just went around popping people, he'd be a murderer.
Yeah,
he can't. Who was it? I can't remember. It was something that somebody realized that he was holding his punches. It might have been somebody who took over his body, or they swapped, like him and. Was it Wolverine and Spider-Man swapped? And like, yeah, because it was. Yeah. He was all trying to bang Mary J when he was Spider-Man. Wolverine is. Don't hide your daughters, hide your wives, hide your kids.
They have done Wolverine dirty.
Yeah, we've already talked about Wolverine, but Spider-Man's cool with Wolverine. They've had some get-togethers. I don't know about how far that goes, but.
Yeah.
No, Spider-Man also was in the Fantastic Four for a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, he's really good at like adapting to different teams. And I think that's just because like we as the reader really like to see him in different elements besides just like his always struggling with the day-to-day.
He has real boy problems for sure. He does. He's constantly like he's broke.
Yeah.
He's homeless. He's like the most not broken, but he's kind of a broken person.
Yeah, because like he
Sleeping
doesn't.
on your couch,
he's
eating
not a
pizza.
god like Thor is. He doesn't have like a science degree in anything because every time he goes to school he gets interrupted.
He did have the power cosmic for a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think he punched the Hulk into space.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure that happened.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, no. But otherwise, he's sleeping on your couch.
Yeah.
He's like
Just regular, someone that you can, the most relatable person.
Everyone has a person that you can relate to. It's like sleeping on your couch, eating your last piece of pizza out the fridge. I'm gonna come in the house and Peter Parker's gonna be on the couch, and I'm like, "Who ate?" And he'll be like, "You didn't have a name on it."
Bro, you already know.
He's a savage. Peter Parker is very relatable.
Yes, and his rogues gallery is all very interesting.
Boy.
Because I know the first video game I ever played of Spider-Man that got me into see, like, what was it, Wolverine? You got into Wolverine with the Marvel vs. Capcom. I got into Spider-Man with the Super Nintendo game Spider-Man and Venom versus Carnage.
Was that like a side?
It was a
walkthrough
side,
beat 'em
it was a
up,
side scroller, yes.
Like a what is it? Streets of Rage or Fury or
Yes, it was like that, but you could sling webs or be the sim. I picked Venom every time.
I love Venom and Marvel vs. Capcom, but Spider-Man is dabtacular. He is Mr. Mr. Knuckles. Like he's all launch him in the air, jump up, tap him up, get him in the web, swing him around, slap him down.
Yes,
He was one of the best characters, like
hands down.
hands down. But talking about the bad guys, the rogues gallery, like who do you think is the most formidable rogue? Who's like the main baddie that you believe for him?
I would say it's for me. They're all very threatening in their own way, but two stand out to me the most, and I had already mentioned them. One is Doc Ock because of like he is one of the most intelligent people, like up there with like Doctor Doom level intelligence.
Yeah.
So
He's highly intelligent.
yeah, so that makes him a menace. Also, Carnage because he is chaos. He is like.
Man, you keep on naming them off, and I'm like, yeah, there's that one too. There's so many good bad guys for him. Like I was gonna say, Sandman is.
Yeah.
Sandman's. I don't know. That's always been intimidating to me because he can shapeshift, and he's sand.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
He can't do it except for hit him with some high temperatures.
Turn into glass. There was a comic book I just heard about yesterday, actually, where somebody did something to Sandman and turned him into glass, and then somebody broke him, but then he just turned into Glass Man. So he's just like, instead of sand, I mean, glass is basically like, sand is like ground up glass. But there's a point where he gets turned into real glass, and then he gets shattered, and then he can control that. I was like, that's terrifying.
I don't know if that's more. That sounds
worse
more
than
deadly.
sand.
I would be more scared of like a man who is just made of
broken glass,
shattered shards of glass.
If you put him together with Peanut Butter Man, which is a guy, a superhero. I mean, back in the day, me and my brother Matt, but like we made it. We had like this thing. We sat around like, who can make the worst superhero? And mine was Peanut Butter Man. He's always like emitting. He's like just emitting peanut butter out of every part of his body all the time. There's that in Seizure Man. Which is not funny, but it's funny because like he makes other people have it. So like he's sitting like I said, you go like Waffle House, and the the waitress, she starts taking your stuff, and you don't like what she's saying, so you just hit her with the old C's. It's horrible. It's not funny, but at the time it was funny. Anyways, Broken Glass Man, Peanut Butter Man, the dynamic duo. Wouldn't that be horrifying?
That would
just be covered in broken glass and peanut butter.
Oh my god, that would. That sounds like some real trauma. I don't ever.
Stephen King level stuff right there.
Yeah, like that's some like Holocaust type stuff.
It is crimes against humanity.
Yes.
But I'm getting away from everything. I was going to bring it back. There's Sandman, and then Green Goblin or Norman Osborn has been like my number one. He's the number one antagonist for Spider-Man in my mind.
Yeah. Outside
of himself, Spider-Man beating himself up. But
yeah, and I would say like Kingpin, but like
Fisk.
Yeah, but Kingpin is pretty much a insert here villain. Like he's also Spider-Man's, but also Daredevil's, also anyone who resides in New York, basically.
I can't say I'm a big fan of Daredevil.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, even the Netflix series, did you like that?
I don't know. It's weird to me. I want to like Daredevil.
Yeah.
I like all Daredevils. Well, I don't know about what's her name. Was it Elektra? Or is that the girl that runs around with the size?
Yeah, Elektra.
Melina.
Yeah.
But yeah,
got the purple. Yeah. Hey, look at that. I'd never connected those dots.
What, the Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
she wears
had a
the
thing
purple.
on her face.
Yeah.
It'd be over.
Finish it. That wasn't much of a kiss. That was more, she's just going to suck
I think her and
your
Venom would get
whole body up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a team up.
Team up.
You know what? Like Mortal Kombat, like the NetherRealm really should have teamed up with Marvel. Marvel has a lot more.
They could do a dope little collaboration, amalgamation thing.
Yeah.
Actually, that would work pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Injustice series is good.
Like Ghost Rider Scorpion.
Yeah, but all of their characters were made to be intersectional with brands like Mortal Kombat. But you know what? Because of capitalism, we'll never see it.
Yeah. Fortunately, Marvel, which is home base for Spider-Man, is doing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
Where it's a day to be alive as a
comic book
fan. Like there's just it's almost like I appreciate everything that comes out, but then it's almost just like there's so much now. It's hard to follow.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about for the cast and stuff like that. I'm like, this is coming out, this is new coming out. It's hard to if you're trying to follow it. It's actually pretty complicated.
Yeah.
And that's not even like the comic books again. There's so many comic books I don't like, real paper comic books that I don't get to see because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And
I know I feel you when it comes to like actual comics. I'd rather read an actual comic.
I'm more digital these days, but
yeah. But I've started adapting to the fact that the panorama is limiting a lot of places and their ability to stay open for certain periods of time. So that's why I'm starting to pick up more digital comics and read those. And there's some really good independent comics out there, some independent web comics that we really should at some point in the future go over, because
maybe we can dedicate maybe one of the next few episodes to the indie comics. I might have to do a little research on my indie comic stuff. I do have some ones. I like a lot of stuff. There's a one by Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
It's what's it called? It's about night. There's like it's like a world where like basically like one day the sun went down and they never came up again.
Oh,
and
shit.
like they have to like transport people in these trucks because like there's creatures in the blackness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
I feel horrible.
like
I said, I'm about to do my research. I don't know the names for it, but I know it's Zack Snyder.
oh shit.
Or it might be Scott Snyder.
The
Y'all let me
Snyder
know.
family.
You let me know.
So big out there, doing big things. Have you seen the Carnage movie trailer?
Yes, I have.
Tell me your hot takes from it.
I like that they cleaned up Woody Harrelson's the way he looks. They got rid of they got rid of the super curly boys. Yes.
Gimmick he had going on.
I thought that hurt my feelings when I saw that at first, but
well, you can't. You don't have a hairstylist in there. At least he didn't need a tattoo damaged over his forehead. The way you know that
he just
crazy.
He seemed a little silly, but that was a trailer for a different movie, and they cleaned him up, and they made him really cool, and they got some of the best like people walking up like spreading out and being all awesome, and it was. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And if they can fit Spider-Man in there.
Yeah,
it'll be great because Spider-Man's the man. He's what's holding everything together.
So far, I have seen at least one little clue of connective tissue in this recent Venom trailer. Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
And it was when Brock was looking on I guess he's now working for. Was he working for the Daily Bugle?
Yeah,
in the last one.
I don't know. Well,
he's the West Coast. He's working for the West Coast branch.
Yeah,
of the Daily Bugle.
That's one of the reasons why they're like adversaries. Is because he was a journalist and he was doing it, and then I think that was true to the comic books too. Like Peter Parker made him look the fool, and then it was just like. Fuck Peter Parker.
Yeah. And I think even Tom Hardy has mentioned that he really wants to do a movie with our current
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, the two Toms.
It's like the Chris's in the Marvel.
Yeah. We have to consume every actor that has the same first name.
Really have to.
All the Chris's. Which one was originally the Human Torch and then became our one of our favorite captains.
Yeah. Wait. No. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about someone else, about some other character. Talking about Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, yeah.
I was talking about him because he was the Lantern and now Deadpool, but he was also in a Blade movie where he was like, I don't know if he's the same character in the Blade movie as he in. No, that's not Wade Wilson.
No. In the Blade movie, he was like a part of I guess they were brother and sister or whatever, but they were like a vampire hunting team. I guess. I think it was because like their parents got killed by a vampire.
Speaking of Deadpool, Spider-Man and Deadpool are buddy.
Oh man, if they could make Marvel, if you ever get to watch this, could you pretty please make a Deadpool and Spider-Man crossover? I mean, I know you're gonna have to ask Sony to play ball with that as well.
That would be
because
really
they
good.
Still own the Spider-Man rights again.
These companies.
Thank you, capitalism.
Thank you, capitalism. Yeah, exactly. No, that sucks. Some of the best stuff we could ever see in our life won't be because of money.
and it's like because these corporations,
these high up dudes that don't even like comics who own everything.
Yeah,
and they're just like, I'm taking my ball home.
But at least the important thing is they're grabbing people, especially at least Marvel for Marvel's sake is specifically honing in their production executive positions to comic book fans, because I feel like Kevin Feige must have been like a nerd from childhood. I don't know his bio, but
anybody who wears a baseball cap 24/7 indoors, everywhere.
Like, I'm starting to
because he's just so bright, I guess.
Yeah,
because he's
the shade, you know.
He even wears it the correct way. Nobody wears a hat like that. Nah, but I like his movies. He's a great dude. He's great. I'm
really
glad he
is.
contributed everything he did.
He has like articulated every specific direction of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful.
And they're trying to spread him thin and by putting him on Star Wars, but I really feel like they need to let someone who is as passionate about comic, or someone like Feige who is as passionate about comics and comic movies as Feige is, they need to find that for Star Wars.
Just let Tarantino do Star Wars.
Yeah. Or like because Jon Favreau has been doing The Mandalorian. So honestly, if I would trust anybody right now, it would probably be Jon Favreau to be the executive Feige type.
No, I get you.
Because like he made the first. I'm not sure how many Iron Man movies. I think he did the first 1 and 2 of the Iron Mans.
Yeah. The Iron Man.
Yeah.
The Iron them. I don't know.
I promise you, we're better than English than this.
I knows better.
I like that Iron Mans.
Some Iron Mans.
But yeah. What we're gonna go over, like, what was your most favorite and your most hated comic arc of Spider-Man before we start closing?
Well, honestly, my least favorite, which is like I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's the one where like the zombie.
Okay.
Where he was like everybody was a zombie.
The Marvel versus where everybody turns into a zombie.
Yeah.
I think it was
Marvel
a
zombie.
what if storyline.
I mean, it was. I don't know. I'm so zombied out.
Yeah.
That was that one. But like, my favorite Spider-Man. Probably probably the Superior.
Yeah.
When he got to, honestly, I think Doc Ock did a better job of being Spider-Man than
More
Peter Parker.
efficient. Yeah. He
Like
did become more efficient.
He's like, what
at
are you
things.
doing? You know, and like he made super awesome tech, and he was more ruthless, obviously, because he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, just he was killing people and roughing people up. He beat up the Avengers, which was, and he had some decent quips, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he was no Peter, but that was still a pretty dope story arc.
I love Peter to death, but some other people, it's fun to watch other people be Spider-Man. And a lot of people don't like that at all. They're like,
yeah,
Peter is Spider-Man, nobody else is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
I remember at the height of Miles Morales' run, there was a lot of shade, and he was a really, really good Spider-Man.
There was a lot of haters when it came to Miles Morales, but he's great, man.
And after this last movie came out, and after the Secret Wars story arc concluded, like I love Miles Morales even more than I did previously. But I would say the worst storyline for Spider-Man was the one where I can't remember the title. It's at the tip of my brain, but not reaching my mouth. But it's where at post Civil War, after he reveals who he is, and then that gets Aunt May killed.
Is that that's in the Civil War where he stands up with Tony Stark and he's like, I'm Spider-Man, and they're like, oh, well, now we can come after your family. That's the whole thing about Mask. It gives you some anonymity as a superhero where people aren't trying to kill your loved ones.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of superheroes don't have girlfriends or serious
they're
relationships.
loners, yeah.
Because the bad guy's going to target your loved ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that one. I think that's Civil War.
When he asked Mephisto to erase his whole life, I feel like that was the worst idea in comics besides the Captain Captain Marvel grape scene. That was, and it was an incestual thing, but I don't even want to go into that because that is just another awful story arc that that somehow was like, oh, by the way, when I think of crappy storylines, it's the day he sells his soul to Mephisto.
I think that's One More Day.
One More Day. Yes, that's right. Yes. That was one of the worst story arcs.
A lot of people hated that.
Yeah, and for
Clone
Spider-Man
Saga too. People hated the Clone Saga.
Yeah.
Which I kind of, honestly, I'm okay with it. I don't know about like the Web of Life and all that stuff, but but I did like there's a, I can't remember what his name is. He's a clone of Peter Parker. He's Ben. That was it. It might have been Ben Riley or Ben. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've cut it into yours.
And my favorite is anytime he teams up with either Deadpool or Venom, because those are always, like, I love him solo, but as a duo, like...
Yeah, I mean, Venom's, I don't know, but they're just always, it's like Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
Like, he always hates on him. Even when they're comfortable with each other, he, like, kind of hates on him. Spider-Man does. He's like, you're Venom!
Yeah.
And Eddie Brock. Venom was, I know we said the whole, like, favorite bad guy thing, but I loved Venom when I was a kid. Like, I used to draw him on the paper and, like, on everything. And I got, like, when I was 13, I remember running, walking a couple miles up to the gas station uphill in the snow.
In the snow, 6 miles.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. But I did. I'd walk up there and I'd, like, basically stare at the comic books. There was, that was around the time that, I think, like, Bishop was coming out with the X. I seen those comics and I seen Venom comics.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff, man. I love this stuff. He's got an impressive rogues gallery, and I'll think of another one because there's so many of them,
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it was great. Spider-Man's a awesome character.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we are at the end. So before we head out of here, a recommendation for myself and the audience, and what things are you trying to shed light on, whether it's something that you're working on or just anything in general.
Well, I did start the What If Marvel animated series.
Okay.
It's only got one season or one episode out so far, and it's good. I like it. So far, so good. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go.
Is it like a continuation? Does it look like it'll be continuing into?
I think so. I'll give one spoiler, and that's it introduces Uatu, the Watcher, the big old ball.
Okay.
He sees all until somebody steals his eyes. But like, that doesn't happen in this. That's a whole nother universe. The Uatu's pretty dope. But like, I love just about anything Marvel.
Yeah.
I still gotta finish Loki.
Yeah.
Which I feel horrible about that, but there's so
there's
so much going on.
I'm over here ready to break into the Loki storyline and really go over what's different and what's the same about like the actual mythology of Loki.
We should probably spend an episode talking about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've got right now. Outside of that, I've listened to, there's some YouTuber called Comic Jerk. I listened to a little documentary he did about like the comic bust of the 90s, and there's things I didn't even know, that very intricate stuff with like companies that I didn't figure would be the reason for the downfall of comics. Like,
oh wow. I would say my recommendation would be, I'm going to go ahead and say my recommendation is Loki, because not only as someone not seen it, I won't say who, but it's so good. It's literally like my favorite one of the three shows.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna catch up.
Big because I liked all three a lot, and aside from Evasive Blue would be the only thing that I would be shouting out. Outside of that, that's our show today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us and listening to us ramble about amazing, awesome things that come from the comic universe and other things attached to said comic universe.
Yes, and I am Justin Hughes, and we will catch you next time on Captain's Log. This has been the Comic Captains. Peace.